Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. I'm Blaine King.
And I'm Josh Krupp, sitting in for Brittany Laufer. Coming up next on Daybreak, Point Park had a visit from someone with the Pittsburgh Penguins last week, and it had almost nothing to do with sports.
We will also be visited by some people I know very well, representatives from the United Student Government.
And what former Defensive Player of the Year plans on returning to the black and gold for another season? We have that in your sports report.
Daybreak starts right now.
Last week, it was freezing at the beginning of the week, and then it started to warm up, and by Thursday, Friday, we were seeing the sun.
I know. I was freezing. I had to put on 2 jackets just to stay warm, and then I just had to put on my jean jacket.
And then I walk outside on Thursday, it's 20 degrees. I'm like, man, it's warm. But Sarah, I hear it's getting even warmer. What's the weather looking like for us today?
Yeah, guys, it's definitely going to be warming up a little bit. We're going to have a high of 42, so we're getting out of those colder 30s. And we have a low 23, so it's going to get a little colder at night, but still, we're getting out of those 30-degree temperatures, and it's going to be sunny, so that's going to brighten up your Monday a little bit with some sunshine, partly cloudy, and a 0% chance of precipitation, so you don't have to worry about no snow or rain. It's going to be a pretty nice day. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sarah. Now to campus news. More than 60 employers filled the Student Center gym for the Spring Internship and Job Fair. More than 200 students from 6 universities attended the fair, which was hosted by the SAEM Department, the Office of Alumni Relations, and the Career Development Center. There were also 4 separate panels as a part of the job fair. Some of the employers that were there in attendance at the job fair were the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Steelers, WPXI, and the Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium.
Could the shuttles be heading towards East Liberty for grocery shopping? Well, in last week's USG meeting, a senator brought up the issue that students were concerned with why the shuttles do not travel in that direction. The reason is due to construction happening around that area. It would cause the shuttles to travel a different route, making for a longer commute and an increase in price for all the shuttles. USG is looking at all options to find a solution to the problem.
The Point Park women's basketball team hosted their senior night against Midway University last week. Alexis Zanakis, Carly Corcoran, Leah Hurst, and Brianna Brownfield were the seniors being recognized for their hard work and contributions to the team during their time here at Point Park. Zanakis had a season-high 21 points in the game as Point Park cruised to an 88-46 victory.
The Center for Sports Media and Marketing hosted their first event of the second semester last week. Yeah. Terry Callnow, who is the Senior Vice President of Sales and Broadcasting, visited Point Park to discuss with students his path into the sports industry and how he got to his new position. He offered advice for students on how they should potentially approach getting into the sports industry themselves.
Let's move from our campus here in downtown Pittsburgh and head out to Oakland, where Carnegie Mellon University held an interesting event recently.
Yes, Madison Taylor has the story.
Carnegie Mellon University's Lunar Gala showcases the creative work of our community, and this year's show marks the 20th anniversary of the event.
It's become a tradition for some people.
I went last year and I think it's really cool, so I decided to come again.
Music, art, dance, and fashion fill the Wagon Gym each year. Although the event is run by Carnegie Mellon students, the Lunar Gala is open to the public, attracting a diverse audience.
I have a little, and she's actually one of the models, and I'm also in a sorority, and a few of my friends are designing for them, so it's a pretty big event. They've been working really hard for it for like half a year, so I'm really excited to see what they have to offer.
In honor of the 20th anniversary, this year's show is entitled Strain, representing the Lunar Gala's strain to evolve over time. As for these supportive fans, the Lunar Gala team hopes they never change.
According to the Lunar Gala board, this year's show sold out quickly, with over 1,000 tickets purchased. Reporting live from Carnegie Mellon University, I'm Madison Taylor for Point News.
Now, Blaine, you mentioned the issues that Point Park and USG have addressed about the shuttles in their weekly meetings.
Yes, and after the break, we will sit down with some representatives of USG to hear what else they're doing to improve life here on the campus of Point Park. Welcome to Daybreak. Back to Daybreak. Now in studio, we are joined by two people that I work with every day. Charles Maria, who's the parliamentarian of the United Student Government, and Shayna Mendez, who is the president pro tempore of our United Student Government.
And Blaine, you just happen to be the president of USG.
Not important now.
But these are two of the people you work with every day. So folks, first of all, tell us a little bit what you do with USG and what do your titles mean? Parliamentarian, president pro tempore?
Well, I'm the parliamentarian, as Blaine said, and my basic function in USG is to provide rules and regulations for our senators and executive cabinet to follow so they don't get in trouble and they know how to act in our meetings. In addition, I confirm clubs for the school and recognize them. So all the wonderful clubs like rugby and dance club, there's thanks to people like in my position from years previous, but like I've created a couple this year, so.
And me and President pro tempore, I'm basically the voice for the senators on the executive cabinet board, and I just kind of like be the person of the point of call between the senators and executive cab to ensure that communication kind of flows freely within the whole legislative body.
Kind of like the Speaker of the House, your president pro tempore. What are a couple of events that USG is working on to going through this semester?
Well, one event that we are having next week actually is our PSGC meeting, which is like a summit where we talk to school, like different schools, student governments every month. I'm the point of contact for our school. Shane is also a member on the PSGC, but she is the secretary of internal communication. Now this is good for us because we like to share information with different schools. They share information with us. So we have like a common understanding that sometimes we're going through the same problems across like all of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. Like,
and then on top of that, we have PCD, which is coming up in March, which is on the 26th. And it's kind of like this huge event, sort of, where we have like this Pioneer Community Day as well as our forum, which is also in March. I may have slightly mixed up the times, but it's okay. One's in April, one's in March. The forum is in March, and then PCD is in April. But the forum is kind of like a way for USG to kind of introduce itself to like the student body and kind of like say, hey, like come to us with any concerns that you have.
Just like put yourself out there.
Yeah, kind of put ourselves out there and interact with the student body and let them know that we're kind of like there for them. And then PCD is a day of like complete community service where we just kind of like get together and like rally the whole school together to just like give back to the community that we like interact with every day.
Nice, nice. And I understand that it is close to election season, and I know that's coming up soon. So would you want to dive into that a little bit?
Election is open to all students. We are looking for people who are really interested in getting involved with the school and want to see a change. Our applications are due what day, Shayna?
It's due 2 weeks before.
No, 4 weeks before the
4 weeks before.
Before exams.
And then the elections are 2 weeks before exams.
Right. Which we'll have dates for you coming up. We're working on marketing right now, which is like a really big push we're making in USG to market things better. So.
What are some of the requirements and some of the responsibilities that come along with being a member of USG?
Well, it depends on each section that you decide to apply for. So everyone is allowed to apply for any executive cabinet position, but there are certain stipulations like vice president and president. It's normally persons who have already served on the board, usually for one whole academic school year. And then for the senator positions, those are open to anybody. So from freshman to senior, for any like school of comm, school of business, arts and science, COPA, you can represent anybody in that constituent. And basically what you do is you fill out the application and you just have to have like the minimum of like 2.5 GPA and have like a good standing, disciplinary standing with the school in order to be considered and just have people vote for you.
Yeah, most people think that we're like a closed organization, but we're looking for members all throughout the year. Like Blaine just appointed a new member on Monday, so we're really excited to see more involvement from the student body, that they want to be a part of USG.
I can't wait for election season to roll around, Blaine. I bet that's going to be an exciting time for you.
Yeah, it is going to be a very busy time. Am I going to run? Am I not going to run? We'll see. Make the announcement soon. But guys, thanks for coming. I really appreciate both of you coming and showing that I'm not the only face of USG. There are other faces like Charles and Shayna that are a part of USG.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. We look forward to all of the good work you guys are doing going forward this remaining of this semester.
Welcome back. Now it's time to take a look at some stories around the Pittsburgh area with local news. A woman was arrested in connection with a house in a fire last week in Homewood that left 3 men dead. 42-year-old Latoya Lyerly was charged with 3 counts of homicide and 5 counts of arson after the 2-alarm fire tore through the local boarding house. Officials say the fire was reported shortly before 6:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. Police say Lyerly intentionally set the fire on North Lang Avenue. Neighbors called police after a smoke alarm at a neighbor's house was set off by the blaze. The man who owns the house would let homeless or people in need stay there. The 3 men have not been identified because of the severity of their burns.
Goodwill of Southwestern PA is getting into the transportation business. The company has established a for-profit transportation service that will provide 24/7 transportation to nonprofits and businesses in the region. The new company, Mission Logistics LLC, will utilize Goodwill's existing fleet of trucks to generate more revenue for Goodwill's charitable work. This is the first of 164 community-based Goodwills in the United States and Canada to do so.
State police are looking for a woman who stole a $400 wig at a store specializing in products for cancer patients. The woman and 2 men are seen in surveillance footage taken inside the Wigs and More store in Westmoreland County last Saturday. Employees say the trio entered the store searching for a wig for the woman. The men distracted workers while the woman stole the wig. Anyone with this information is asked to call state police.
Last week, 53 Pennsylvanians were waiting to hear whether they had contracted the Zika virus. Health officials say at least 16 of them were tested in Allegheny County. The CDC is performing blood tests on the patients, which could take up to 2 weeks for results. The Centers for Disease Control says the surge is due in part to increased awareness of the virus. Generally, those tested for Zika in the United States have been in parts of the world affected by the mosquito-borne illness. There have been 2 confirmed Zika cases in Pennsylvania so far, neither of which was in Allegheny County.
The Pittsburgh Auto Show made its annual appearance during the Valentine's Day weekend.
The annual event highlighted cars from the past as well as a glimpse into the future. Mark Dovey was there to see what cars made an appearance at the convention center.
2016 Greater Pittsburgh National Auto Show rode into the city over the weekend. Car enthusiasts were able to see their latest innovations from their favorite brands right at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center.
Some got a rare chance to sit behind the wheel of the newest Mercedes. Others got a look under the hood of the new Mustang. The car makers came out to the Pittsburgh International Auto Show trying to tempt drivers to eventually taking one home.
We have all 35 major vehicle manufacturers, and we have a lot of specialty vehicles as well.
And those specialty cars would come with all the bells and whistles. Point News got a behind-the-scenes look at the displays as 60,000 people came to check out all the new models and features. And there was more to do than just look at the cars.
We have Lamborghinis, we have Maseratis, we have Bentleys, we have a $3 million Aston Martin Vulcan, one in the country, the only one in the country.
One of the most popular displays was the Ford Zone. Here guests got to interact with a robot who could answer any question. There was also a simulator to give an idea of driving experience behind the Ford wheel.
No matter if you're trying to find the next family vehicle or something sporty for yourself, you can find it all right here under one roof at the Pittsburgh International Auto Show.
But regrettably, drivers were only allowed to sit in the seats. Convention Center rules stop people from starting the engines and testing them out. Reporting for Point News, I'm Mark Dovey.
Earlier in local news, Josh told you about how the Zika virus is affecting Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas.
That's right, but now with a look at how the virus is affecting the country as well as the world, we head over to Veronica at the Daybreak News Desk. Veronica.
Just as Josh has alluded to, the Zika virus has taken over national headlines. The disease, spread by mosquitoes, continues to endanger people throughout the Latin and South Americas. Now the FDA is urging people who have traveled to Zika-infected areas to not donate blood. The FDA recommends waiting at least 1 month after traveling to Zika-infested locations to donate any blood. NBC News reports that U.S. territories including Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Samoa have the virus within their borders. As of this month, there have been about 50 reports of the Zika virus in the United States that are associated with travel. Fortunately, however, 0 homegrown cases of the Zika virus have been reported within the United States. Lately, we have learned that the Zika virus can spread by sexual intercourse. According to CNN, the first known sexual transmission of the Zika virus was about 8 years ago. Scientist Brian Foy contracted the virus in 2008 after traveling to Africa. He then sexually transmitted the virus to his wife. CNN also reports that 1 in 5 people with the virus will not experience any symptoms. Foy was contagious before any intense symptoms began. Another alarming characteristic of the virus is that it can remain present in one's semen even if one's blood tests negative for the virus. How long the virus can remain in one's semen is still to be determined. Clearly, a lot is still being learned about the Zika virus, and scientists continue searching for ways to stop the virus from spreading. In other news, Apple is still refusing FBI's request to unlock the San Bernardino shooter's phone. Software to meet the FBI's request does not exist yet, and many are fearful that if the software is created for this particular case, hackers will find their way into the private information of other Americans. This case is likely to go to the Supreme Court. Sadly, however, Justice Antonin Scalia will not be able to participate in that case. The Supreme Court justice unexpectedly died last week at the age of 79 from natural causes while visiting a resort in West Texas. Scalia served as a Supreme Court justice from 1986 when he was appointed by President Ronald Reagan up until his death and was recognized as one of the most conservative voices on the Supreme Court. President Barack Obama does plan to announce Scalia's successor before his term ends as president next January. This appointment is going to be a major talking point over the next year or so, especially as we get closer to selecting our next president. Back to Blaine and Josh at the couch.
Josh, it's going to be interesting to see the direction President Obama goes in naming his next successor for Judge Scalia.
And there's a lot of controversy right now. Is he allowed to? The Constitution says that the president picks the people on the Supreme Court, but...
Yeah, I know, and Reagan did the same thing in '88 before he left, so it's going to be interesting. Could have a huge effect on the election.
You're just president of USG, not of the country, so you don't have to worry about that.
I know, thank goodness, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for your sports and entertainment report.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Alex Martich with your sports update. Despite the fact that the NFL season is over, it doesn't mean the Steelers won't be leading the news. Tuesday, 37-year-old Steelers linebacker James Harrison announced that he would return for his 13th season. Harrison, the 2008 Defensive Player of the Year, has been a Steelers staple of the linebacking corps over the past decade, most notably leading them to a victory in Super Bowl 43. Moving from the field to the ice, the Pittsburgh Penguins season has not gone exactly according to plan. They lost their most recent match against the Florida Panthers 2-1 in a shootout, and will face off tonight in a highly anticipated match against the Detroit Red Wings. The Penguins won their only prior match against the Red Wings 5-2 this season. Penguin center Yevgeny Malkin has been battling injuries all season and has missed the last 6 games. He is listed as a day-to-day injury, but the Pens are preparing to play the game without him. Penguins are currently sitting at 28 wins, 19 losses, and 8 overtime losses. They are currently sitting in a position where they would make the playoffs, but there have been many rumors that they are looking to make an acquisition before the trade deadline. Names such as Carl Hagelin, Trevor Daley, and Roman Pollock have been discussed, but only time will tell before the trade deadline on February 29th. It may be cold up here right now, but down in Florida, it's warm and sunny. The Pittsburgh Pirates arrived in Bradenton, Florida for spring training last week. Pitchers and catchers reported last Wednesday, while the position players report on the 22nd. The Pirates open up their season at home Sunday, April 3rd at 1:05 versus the St. Louis Cardinals. The game will be the first regular season game on the schedule for the Major League Baseball League, and we will be televised by ESPN. Speaking of television, let's go over to Chloe Bendis with her entertainment report.
Thanks, Alex. We begin with Fox's popular animated comedy, The Simpsons. The show has been on for 27 seasons, but we never expected this. Fox is taking The Simpsons live. Yeah, Homer Simpson will appear live in all new episodes. According to a release from Fox, the last 3 minutes of the show will be live on both the East and West Coast broadcasts. And Marge, Bart, and Lisa will turn the show over to Homer. All new episodes will air on Sunday, May 15th at 8 p.m. Make sure to check it out. All right, ladies, I don't know about you, but I'm in love with the Salvatore brothers. Cuties Damon and Stefan Salvatore from the Vampire Diaries are heading to New Orleans for a 2-hour, 2-show crossover event. This show is reuniting with the originals from the first time since 2014. Stefan, played by Paul Wesley, and Klaus, played by Joseph Morgan, join forces once again to investigate a prophecy related to the original family. Creator Julie Peck told sources, quote, "The crossover actually will be the first to give a little bit of a tease about the prophecy that makes us say, oh, wait a second, that's interesting." This special event premieres on the CW Friday, February 26th. I can't wait. Make sure to check this show out as well. In other news, the Tonight Show staged a Full House reunion. Jimmy Fallon dressed up as Donald Trump, taking on the role of Michelle Tanner. The skit begins with Fallon lying in bed calling for his dad, and in walks in the one and only Danny Tanner, played by Bob Saget. Then Uncle Jesse and Joey walk in and are joined by DJ, Stephanie, Aunt Becky, and Kimmy Gibbler. The whole thing ended with a couple goodbyes and Danny saying, quote, "Just remember, Donald, if you win and become president, that's great. But if you lose and don't become president, well, we'll be even prouder." End quote. Fuller House finally comes to Netflix next week on February 26th. That is just in time for Blaine and Josh, along with everyone else, to binge watch the new season during spring break.
Oh, I am definitely going to binge watch Fuller House. Danny Tanner and the crew are back. Blaine, I'm so excited.
I know, Josh. It's going to be huge.
Huge. And this weather week, it could be huge as well. I mean, today is a great day outside, apparently, according to Sarah's earlier weather forecast.
Hey, Sarah, is the weather going to be huge this week?
Yeah, it's going to start nice earlier in the week. We're going to have a high of 43 on Monday and a low of 23. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're just going to keep getting a little warmer with a high of 48 and a low of 31 on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have a high of 45, and a low of 27. As we move further down into the week, it's a high of 40 on Wednesday and a low of 20 on Thursday, and a low of 25. And then on Friday, we're getting into the weekend, we're getting into much colder temperatures. On Friday, we have a high of 36 and a low of 22 with a chance of snow. And then on Saturday, we have a low of 20 with a high of 36. And then as we get into Sunday, it's still with those cold temperatures. We're getting a little bit warmer, almost into the 40s with a high of 39 and a low of 26. But like I said, we're not warming up just yet. Back to you guys on the couch.
Sarah, you got my hopes up. I thought it was going to be warm, but
Me
it
too.
seems
As
like
we got later on in the
still
week,
maybe
I
some
was
snow.
like 20 degrees. Are you serious?
Whatever.
Hopefully March weather will be better.
But, you know, it's football weather, this colder weather. It's kind of what it reminds you of. And
yeah,
we've had the chance to play some football here at UVU in the past. And coming up after the break, Blaine, an exciting video.
Yes, I'm very excited to see this video.
Hey, Blaine, the Super Bowl ended a couple weeks ago. Football season's done, but that doesn't mean we're done giving you a taste of football here on UVU.
That is true, Josh. As you know, we like to do some things outside of the studio, and one thing that we love to do is play some football in the cold, in the heat, in the spring. It doesn't matter.
Hey, just as long as there is no touching of the hair or face, as they say in Anchorman. So right now, we're going to toss it to a little fun little video we made called UVU Football. That's what we like to do here.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you get when you combine football and UVU football? We have everybody from UVU going up against each other in a game of football to see who's the best of the best.
We're going to win. Paul Daniels is going down. We are winning. But overall, all of UVU is going to win.
whenever you take the field, you gotta always expect to be champions. You can't let up. You gotta always play your hardest, and I think we got it.
This is it. This is game time. Let's go.
This is halftime. We live for this. Go. Go. This is what failure looks like. Go the last bit.
Wow, what a fun video. Okay, first of all,
was.
our sports reporter Alex dropped a pass, and there were a lot of drop passes in there.
A
but-
whole lot of drop passes and a lot of interceptions thrown, especially by Zach.
Hey, it happens. But the last play on there, me diving in the corner and getting that pylon for the touchdown.
Well, yeah, that's important, but I had a beautiful pass to Kyle. It was a spiral, wide open for 6.
We should have a whole sports show dedicated. Oh, wait, we do here at UView. It's called Pioneer Sideline. Check it out sometime on UView.
I know, we have a great time, and we just got done playing also UView basketball, which was very interesting. We're not good at sports, I can say that.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, thanks, Blaine, and for having me on today to take over for Brittany. She'll be back next week.
Yeah, it's no problem, Josh. Thanks for stepping in for her, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Daybreak. Remember to watch all of our other UView shows, and join us next week for more entertainment,
more news,
and more everything in between.
Have a great week, Point Park.